Before we start that, though, I need to know what your top 5 movie stunts are.
Top
This
five
is a
movie
fun
sets.
one.
Now, when you had given me a little bit of forewarning on this, I thought, well, I got to talk about things I've done. I mean, because I can talk about other people's work, but one of the problems is, you talk about being a movie snob. When I watch a movie, if I start wondering how they did it, if I start recognizing people I know or have known, I kind of get lost in that. And I realized the movie wasn't so good that I got lost. And I love getting lost in them. My top 5 is all movies that I can watch over and over, and I just get lost in them, even though I've seen them a bazillion times. But I would say for stunts, I picked ones that I did because they had dumb stories that go with them. There is a movie called Breaking the Rules.
Yeah, it'll go with number
I
5.
think it went straight to video. Good film. Jason Bateman and C. Thomas Howell, good film. But I was put in a clothes dryer, and it was this scene when they were kids. They get one of the kids dares the other kid to go into the clothes dryer. That's not a good thing because they really put me in a real commercial dryer. And every time that thing turned upside down, I fell on my head, and those paddles inside hurt. And I had this massive wound in the back of my head that every time, and they said, "Hey, we're going again." I'm like, oh, cripe's sake. What could possibly have gone wrong in the first filming? And it's in there for a minute. And so you're doing a revolution every second. So just imagine getting on, I mean, even if you did this on the lawn, doing 60 consecutive somersaults, you're going to puke. Yeah. And I did. I did on take 2. It was, and in the story, the kid pukes, which, it's like, well, I could have saved you some special effects money. But yeah, every time that thing turned upside down, we tried it a third time, and I just said, no, this is not happening. I can't do this. And my middle name, it's William R. Perry, is Ralph. And that became quite the hilarity afterward as I walked around puking. So that would be one. Next,
That's your number 5. We're going to go round robin because we each have one. But,
yeah. So let's see. Number 4.
Well, before we get to number 4, because we're going to do it all 5s, 4s, 3s.
Oh, okay. I was going from like possibly least favorite to most favorite. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
You're doing it perfect. That's where I'm at too with mine.
Yes.
And but Paul, you have a list too. What's your number 5? Because we'll be quick because we don't know enough about stunts.
I'll shut the hell up for a moment.
You're good. You're good. We want your commentary on these. You're the expert.
Yeah, I'm like sweating right now because I know you're going to judge me for my top 5 favorite stunts.
I am. Well, not just. Don't think of it just as me judging you. Imagine everyone watching judging you.
I'm not worried about that. Love you guys. So my number 5 favorite stunt to watch is I went with Jackass Forever. And that's the bull scene.
Oh,
Johnny Knoxville. That's just such a brutal one.
They're so brutal.
God bless them.
So good. And I mean, brutal. I've watched all of those. It's one of those things. It's a total dude thing. I've never seen a woman in the theater. I've never heard of a woman renting or any of those things. But my God, if you just want to get into the most down, ugly belly laughs, pretty much anything, almost anything on that. Stupid shit. Jumping off of a trampoline into a ceiling fan.
It's so dumb. Yep. It really is jackassery.
And that's what I love about it. It's like, if I thought I could never get hurt, sure, I'd do that. But they know they're going to hurt. They know they're going to get injured bad. And I just, I can't say I admire, but no, I do enjoy it. All good.
Oh, yeah. My number 5 goes back a little bit. It's one that I really like to watch. That's my parameter on these. I really love watching these. Is the French Connection, The Drive.
Yeah.
That chase scene, chasing the train is fantastic. And the fact that it was done guerrilla always just astounds me.
Yeah. And so good. I mean, the tension, the editing is everything, because no matter what you're doing, it's got to have that tension. And how do you create that? So
well, do you work with as a stuntman? Have you ever worked with a stunt team or coordinator? Worked with the post supervisor to kind of
Not so
collaborate
much.
on that?
I mean, they're sometimes on set talking about what coverage they want to see in terms of okay, how much in the car are we going to do? How much, cameras on the fender, cameras on the hood, cameras from behind, cameras, follow cameras and all these different things. So there's usually just so much coverage of these things. And we have a sense of what's going to happen because we read the script like anybody else, but we often won't see how it came out until it comes out.
Okay.
So, we might get a chance to see some dailies to see how, did it look violent enough, too violent? Does Does it look like somebody could have survived, that particular crash or whatever? So, but yeah, for the most part, we get to enjoy it just like you. When we see it on screen, it's like, oh, I'm amazing. It's like, no, the editing.
No, that's not fair. Stunts are amazing. All right, let's Bill, what's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4, I believe, is one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Oh no, it's actually Falling Through the Roof. Elvira Mistress.
I'm sorry, Falling Through the Elvira, and it was Elvira's birthday on Wednesday. Hi, Cassandra. We did this thing where these bunch of kids are helping get Elvira out of jail, and so they cut a hole in the roof, but they're standing in the center of where they're cutting. Not smart, and they fall through the roof. And what they did was they put like a plywood floor with paper cups underneath, so that when you land, that smashes the cups. Looks fairly real. And it's a nice cushion. Unless, however, you only weigh 150 or less, maybe 125. I landed and my knees just came back and got me in the face, and I broke my nose, and it's so if you get to watch it, and it's in slow motion, thank you. And you get to see me take a total Kennedy head take.
I need to rewatch that soon.
It's beautiful.
When I worked when I was working as associate producer, my mentor and boss, God rest in peace, Larry, he was in that movie. He played the assistant director at the beginning.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, he was on The White Shadow. I think he's most famous for and stuff. But cool. Every time I see him in that now, like I have to watch that movie every so often just to remember him, But now I have a new reason also to watch it. And that's for your stuff.
And 8 of us fall through the ceiling at the same time, so we all have to kind of like land and try to get out of the way because they don't want to see our faces because we're doubling kids. So it was one of those things where when it happened, I just kind of put my hands over my face and I realized, oh no, this isn't where it used to be. I'm going to have to fix that. That's not going to be good. And they're like, are you okay? I said, oh, just got some dust in my eyes. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Oh my God. Black eyes.
Make sure nobody knows I got hurt.
I can't wait to see that again. Paul, what's your
number? It's a fun movie.
Oh yeah, it is really such fun.
All right, Paul, what's yours? What's your number 4?
My number 4 is
this better be better than the last one.
Number 4. It's a stairs scene with him falling down the stairs. Like, God bless, I can't imagine.
Which movie?
John Wick.
Oh, when he's falling down the stairs in part 4. Yeah, that was so long.
Stair falls suck.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, gravity does most of the work, but yeah, especially with like depending on the kind of stairs. If you see like concrete stairs and steel stairs, my hat's off to you. God, that sucks. I mean, it's a good stunt and it looks cool, but there is really no faking it. I mean, you pad up as best you can. You try to have no corner. I tell you, no corner. Don't have any. Be as round as you can be so that you roll, and don't try to get into the air. Air is bad. So yeah, you just roll and you try to pad up as best you can and not break your neck. Man,
I don't even. I've fallen downstairs before, but it was not a stunt.
No. Well, it was. Just you didn't get very well paid for it.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So which John Wick? Because I mean, it's funny. I've been rewatching all those. I mean, they're like ballet for action junkies. It's just the best.
It's the 4th one.
4th one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this
is that long staircase that he keeps trying to fight his way up, then they knock him back down, and I'm like, dear God.
I can't even imagine.
So those guys are absolutely badass.
Oh my God. 87 North is just, they're killing with the stunts. Like the Fall Guy, like again, I go back to, it's one of my favorite movies of 2024. Like I love stunts. I love that spectacular. So stuff like that is always going to attract me. And it starts with my number 4, way back in the day, The General with Buster Keaton.
Oh,
and it's the scene when they're on the rail and all of the wood pieces are stuck, and he has to like knock them out while the train's still rolling on. And the fact that was all real, it just still astounds me.
Buster Keaton completely. I mean, no matter how high regard you hold him in, you ain't giving him enough credit. Man was a complete and total badass. Now they had some really cool effects and tricks back with painting and rear projection and stuff, but there's some really badass stuff. And it's just wow, that could have gone south any second.
I mean, the man broke his neck on that movie, so it's like. And he still was doing this scene like it's crazy. I used to
do that.
I know you could. I couldn't. That's why it's on my number.
There's things I could do that I wouldn't do. However,
you know what? We're gonna get into that. I have those questions. All right, what's your number 3?
What did I put? I'm sorry.
You had the window and the landing from.
Okay. So now we're talking 19. Nightmare on Elm Street 6. So the plan is that this is the final one, and there's a lot of campy sort of humor in Nightmare on Elm Street 6. The Freddy's dead. They're going to finally kill off Freddy. And so the opening scene, it's kind of a Wizard of Oz kind of thing, and they're spinning the house around, and the windows are breaking, and he gets thrown out the window, and he lands right on the street in front of Freddy's house. And so first of all, going through the window glass is really thick. It's candy glass, or resin glass, but it's really, really thick. And I said, I don't have enough running up room. I'm not going to get through. He's like, don't be a pussy. I'm like, I get it, but I can't get enough forward momentum to get through that amount of glass. Oh, don't be a pussy. I'll try. So I end up halfway. And now I'm basically body weight dangling like this over a piece of glass, which is quite sharp. It's very brittle, but it's also pretty thick. And so I'm laying there and I'm just getting slowly sawed in half for a while. That's fun. Good day on the job. And then the other side of it, when I'm supposed to land on the ground, I'm supposed to fall out the window onto Freddy's street, on Elm Street. And we were right in front of the real house. So that was kind of cool. And they had this big house that they had sort of dropped there. And they would leap from the window onto the street, and they would pour a bunch of glass and debris out so it would look like it was me falling out. But it was about 20 degrees then in Los Angeles, which is almost never cold. Yeah. And I'm looking at the kid, and he's wearing a T-shirt and skinny jeans. Where do the pads go? Like, oh, you can't? That's a 7-foot, drop onto concrete or asphalt, whatever. I mean, it didn't really matter that much. And they're like, so, try it. So I get up there and I dive out the window, and the shot is that they're going to follow this kid. He's going to land there and he's going to stand up, going to run to the front door of Freddy's house. So it's a really long follow shot, and they didn't get it right. Not my part. I did great as far as I'm concerned. I hit the ground and I roll out of the way, and the kids stand into camp. So, we just do a quick switcheroo, and they run to the thing, and it's like, oh, it didn't come out fair. We're going to go again. Oh, really? Do it again. Bang. Now my shoulder's really sucking because I'm doing shoulder rolls just to try to get, that's a tall ladder and that's hard ground. We do it again and again. And after the fourth time, I'm looking at the stunt coordinator like, so what's going wrong here? And he turns to the director and says, we can't just keep doing it. He's like, why? He's like, because it hurts. And he's like, isn't he a stunt man? It's like, he's not an idiot, and it hurts. He's got no pads, and it's cold. It just made it seem to make it worse. So we did it something like 8 times. And by this time, I'm diving to avoid my shoulder and landing on my hip or my back or my ribs. I get home, and the sort of funny end of this story is I get home, my wife says, oh my God, this is terrible. You got to tell them that you're hurt. Honey, this is what we do. Sorry, I know it looks nasty. No, you have to tell them. I made $8,000.
Good.
We're getting a new couch.
Pales in comparison.
It's just, a couch is so much more important. Your ribs will heal. The couch does not fix itself, and we need to. So yeah, after a while, you just kind of get used to you're going to do stuff that sucks. That was really sucky.
Yeah,
so that's
a
my
long
story.
night. Oh man, I can't. That.
All right, Paul, you have something equally as painful.
You're a trooper.
I don't think I have it quite as equally as painful.
Now you have to reenact all of yours. All of your choices, Paul. In honor of Bill, you have to reenact them. Not me.
Okay. I'll do it.
In
I'll
real
get broken,
time.
but I'll do it.
No pads.
I went with Steve McQueen's stunt in Great Escape with the motorcycle going over the barbed wire fence.
That was a good one. Oh my God.
And he did it. And he really did it. One of the first times anybody really, did their own stunt. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Steve McQueen in all ways
Steve.
was a bad,
Right.
Formula One driver. I don't know if it was Formula One or it was one of those.
Well, what we all have in common for our number 3 is that all of the actors really got hurt. Because I know he got hurt. And he did. He landed in the barbed wire for real. And he got hurt on that one.
I did not know.
And my number 3 is Police Story, when Jackie Chan in the mall comes down the light post and lands through the glass. And another one where he really got hurt, and
and probably did it a third time afterward.
I know, that's
guy
nuts.
indestructible.
I love those movies, and his stunts are just phenomenal.
I started as a martial artist, so watching Jackie he's so much better than anyone would imagine him to be, because most of his films are kind of fun and funny, but skills-wise, the guy, unbelievable. And the fact that, I love that he'll do fights with he'll defend himself with a bicycle in an alleyway, and and he'll choreograph the whole thing and, go all Fred Astaire and try to shoot it all in one, take. Guy's just a bad.
Yeah, hopefully he slows down a little bit in his old age. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Though. He's faster than I am. I just saw him in the new Karate Kid, so I get it. All right, number 2. What do you got for us, Bill?
What do I have?
Yours, the one you chose for number 2 is The Wheelchair from Hell in
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm
Is that
Street.
another Nightmare on Elm Street? Just one of this one. No real injuries. No one was killed. But they took this like 250, 300-pound wheelchair that's got spikes and knives, and Freddy's going to torture the kid. He's like, he taunts a kid in a wheelchair. Could you get away with that today? I don't think so.
I think you would really have to make him a bad guy, like a really like
yeah. He'd have to be a bad person.
not like
So
the
anyway,
fun
they
Freddy
pull
we
this
come
thing
to.
with a Volkswagen engine, and there's wires that I have to avoid because that's getting pulled by an engine, and it's going to go 0 to 30, and I just have to have a little bit of a lead and run as fast as I can and not get my leg cut off. So that's what we did. And then they put it on a like a all-terrain vehicle and chased me with it all up and down these different hallways. Just fun. It's one of those things when you're doing movies, it's like you want to do something, you want to do the action sequence, and you want it to be something memorable. And Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is almost, I mean, I'd say probably 80% of the people I talk to, if it's not the first one that's their favorite, it's that one. And that scene is something they enjoy. So it's just kind of one of those things. You like to think the work you did was not only appreciated, but actually, minorly low-key trick. So
I love that. And it's such a great, that's one of my favorites for sure. I love the first, but yeah, I love them all.
The practical effects in 3 are so much cooler than almost anything else.
They really went all out.
Yeah.
Oh, and trust me, I have questions. But what's your number 2, Paul?
I went with Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. David Holmes for the jerk back of the explosion. He actually broke his neck on that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Sad story about that, but I mean, there's got to be 1,000 great stunts in that film, in all those films. I mean, and that guy was just unstoppable. Did a lot of the same kind of stuff I would do because of his height, but so much better than me. Damn, obviously a very, very cool guy. But yeah, some great stunts in there, and I wish they made him over here. That'd have been a lot of work for a little guy like.
Fantastic. I mean, yeah, I mean. We
My
need
whole
our own.
career was doubling kids. When I was doubling, I was
Marvel.
doubling kids. So that's the key there. And I saw I haven't seen the whole documentary yet, but I've seen some clips from the documentary about the Stuntman, and just a badass, an amazing inspiration.
Yeah, it really is. Good choice, Paul.
What's yours?
Mine was pretty easy. It was T2, the truck chase scene in the Los Angeles River. It is like, I don't know what that movie visual effects wise, but the stunts were just truly amazing.
And that's one of those ones I do know the guys, who were in it, all good friends and competitors in a sense. But the guy who doubled the kid is a guy named Doc Charbonneau, and he did so many really ballsy stunts. When there's scenes where they're just crashing into that car and trying to drive it into the wall, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing. No specifics. The stuntmen inside are prepared, but they're not necessarily protected. So it was really had to be just so. And great drivers, really, really intense. And one of those scenes where I don't care if you know the guy, that story just sucks. And it's so good. And the special effects and the visual effects are just.
Well, let me ask you if we're going, because I threw on a couple of car chases, and there's actually one coming up that's not a car chase, it's a plane chase, but it's. Like for you, what is one of your favorite car chase stunts that you've seen?
Well, there you go. You're bringing me to my number.
Okay, all right, let's get down to it. You're
nice
up.
Segue. We did a movie called License to Drive. Your typical '80s, the Coreys.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I was about to say that.
That is not the movie we shot. I swear to you, we shot an entirely other movie with a completely different plot. When I went to the premiere of that and I watched it, I'm like, what is this? This is not the story we shot. So apparently at some point, the original script was made completely different, and they went back and I guess maybe it didn't test well. And so they reshot a whole bunch to make it fit the stunts and action that we did. I was absolutely stunned when I was out in the theater. But I will tell you, there's a bunch of car driving stuff, that big old land yacht cattle.
Yeah.
And that thing was just a juggernaut. We didn't have to put frames in it to keep us protected. That thing wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. We jumped them, we crashed them, and when you know you're going to be in a car crash, it's the most fun you can have with your pants on. Because there's times you're going down. I don't know if you guys have traffic like like we got here, but you're driving down the freeway and you're just like, where are my guns? I need machine guns and lasers and flamethrowers. I need to clear the path in front of me because I'm going to gutter ball that bastard in front of me if he doesn't get out of my way. So in a stunt, you get to do that. It's like, bam, you knock into the guy next to you. You rear end that guy because you know it's coming. It's not fright. It's nothing but fun when you know it's going to happen. And so that show, we did a lot of different stuff. I exit a bus through the window, a school bus through the window while going down the street, but not the way you want to do that. I never leave by a door. In any of the films I did, I'm always going through a window. Got to learn doorknobs. But we go through a window and I have to do a flip in the air and land on a follow vehicle. And then they show the kid getting up and he jumps into a Ferrari. So it's kind of a dream sequence thing. But we did a lot of different car stunts, and it's almost all stunts. I mean, title kind of tells you. But it was just all really fun driving stunts, trying to like do a 180 in one of those big Cadillacs. Oh, it's impossible, but they had great drivers, and sometimes I was just ballast. I'm just the guy sitting in the seat next to them, so they wouldn't put the kids in there if they didn't have to, because things. And so I would fly around and get smacking into things. But when you know it's coming, it's so much fun. It's just car stunts are best because it's all choreographed and it's very, very tight and it's very, very intense. But it's still fun.
Especially in that movie, because at the end, he's driving backwards in that big boat. I remember that vividly, like when his mom's having a baby and they got to get it. Carol Kane, who is amazing. I think she's one of the funniest women of all time.
Yeah, it's really, there's so much of that in there. And because it's funny, it's easy to overlook, how complex some of the stunts were. When you see two cars, weaving at each other, that's, you got to get really close in order for it to look good. And getting real close means, you got to really know your timing. They got radios and they can say 3, 2, 1, turn. And, everybody knows to go right then. It's like, wait, 2, 1, turn or on 1? Let's make sure we're all on the same page with it, because most of the time it looks faster than it is. But 30 miles an hour and 30 miles an hour is still 60 miles an hour closing. And that can kill you just as well as anything else. So, sometimes you'll see something and it looks like these people are going 180 miles an hour. Yeah, they're going real fast, but they're not going that fast. They can undercrank the cameras and make it look a little faster. Nice. But still, very, really fun stuff, but very...
That's so awesome. And that is so cool that you worked on that movie. I love that movie. I might have to watch that tonight. I got to watch that and Elvira because I want to see your stunts again.
Yeah.
All of them, because I love all these movies. And I
like looking at Elvira, and I like... I'm trying to think of her name. Heather.
Oh, Heather Langenkamp, right?
No, Heather. The one that was in License to Drive is another Heather.
Oh, Heather Graham. Heather Graham. That's right. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I forgot.
Still in love with you, Heather. Just in case you're still out there.
She's an avid fan of the Teen Snobs. I know that for sure. I can say that. But Paul, what do you got for your number one?
My number one, I went with Death Proof. I went with the final car scene.
You got to watch Vanishing Point, dude. That's where they got it from. Watch the original.
Okay.
Too. It's a good choice because Zoe Bell's great. And that is a great scene. But just to compare it to the original, you should watch that one. That's a good one. Good choice on that one. Mine is new. It's from this year. It's the biplane chase scene in Final Reckoning.
I have not seen that.
It is. It's two biplanes. He sneaks out on one. On the tire, and then he climbs up, gets the one pilot out, takes that plane, and has to chase the other plane, get on that plane while fighting. It was
as one does.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, when you're Tom Cruise, I guess that money will get you to do crazy things. But yeah, he took it one step farther in this, and I didn't love I liked the movie. I didn't love it comparatively to the others, but these stunts in this were just phenomenal. And if you do get a chance, I'd love to hear what you think when you see it.
It's interesting to as you watch these now, because one of the things they're doing a lot more of now is combining really good CGI, like flawless CGI, and the actors, or a stunt person, or both. And so now the line between how good a stunt was that really, it's hard to see, because there's things. I was watching some of the footage with Tom Cruise flying off the cliff on a motorcycle, but when you see the actual footage, they CGI'd out a huge ramp. Now, I'm not taking anything away from that stunt. Freaking badass. The guy must have done it 14 times. Insane. Doing that once would be more than enough for my adrenaline levels. But you know, they can make these things even more intense with some good CGI and a good stunt person or a good double that could do that. You know, when people say, "Well, Tom does all of his stunts," not all of them, because sometimes it's just not convenient. Sometimes they'll have a second unit out doing something, and they need, you know, they'll use Tom's stunt double, who's also, you know, when they want it, they're going to use Tom when you're going to see his face. And you're going to get a close up and you're going to go, whoa, that's really him, you know, but a lot of times there's a mixture of those things and CGI and green screens and all the other things. But it's so much cooler to see. You can do some things that are so much more spectacular now because the line between is that real or not pretty much gone. You know, it's hard to know.
And regardless, I just have so much respect for the stunt department, and thankfully they're starting to get their accolades at the.
Yeah, they're actually going to do Oscars this year after the piddly little BS. Here's it. You know, it was like in memoriam for gosh sakes.
You're good.
It was just a little bit disappointing. I mean, I saw a lot of people like legendary. They picked the right people. I mean, they picked people who've been doing this, 40-some years, and they picked the best ones. No two ways about it. But it's funny. I'm starting to do some conventions now, and I had somebody, when he saw that I was announced, went, "Ugh." It's like, thank you for that. The scene that you really liked in the film that you just mentioned, this guy, not the actor. And we're supposed to be in the background. If you can tell it's me, somebody screwed it. But, hey, it's not always easy out there. And we're doing, sometimes the most intense scene is a stuntman because it had to be. And so when somebody kind of thinks that it's not that big a deal, it's like, well, I get it, I did some acting parts too, which is also fun. That's what I really wanted to be when I got into the movie business, but it just kind of turned out this way. But yeah, it's nice to see people getting the recognition for it because action films are 80% of the box office, so somebody out there is doing some work, and it's nice to see him
deserves the accolades.
Pat on the back for it, sure.
Well, we love them here, and this might be my favorite top 5 ever. That's all I'm saying. So I appreciate it. Before we get to some questions, we do have a comment here.